how about this? How about we lure them in, right? Well, first of all, we take out a big fire insurance policy, and then we lure them in, right? And then we set them all on fire, and we set the whole building on fire, and then we just run for it. We take our insurance money and go to Mexico. We see a montage of just like the overhead views of different yards where garden gnomes are like uprooting themselves and running across, and the streets are just filled with gnomes going down like the streets. There's like gnomes on public transportation getting to the place.
Gnomes in taxis.
Gnomes in taxis.
Gnomes on scooters.
Yep,
gnomes riding tiny ponies.
Yep.
Gnomes floating on rafts down the Willamette River.
Gnomes parachuting in.
Gnomes with tiny planes. And gnomes being pulled by cairn terriers, like they're in wagons and there's these tiny dogs pulling them.
And they all arrive.
So now we have the dentist's office, and it's hordes of gnomes.
And they're just wrecking everything, just destroying everything.
We see a gnome on top of the nitrous oxide container, kicking it. We see a gnome ripping up all the magazines in the lounge room area. We see them wrecking the overhead light. We see them doing all sorts of things like that, like kicking in the X-ray machine.
It's basically a scene from Gremlins, but with gnomes.
But with gnomes. I thought you guys would come looking for me.
Yeah, we were looking for you, pal.
You want your money?
Yeah. What gives?
This is an empty envelope.
Why would you even bring it?
To taunt you. If you notice, there's a whole lot of butane in this office. A lot more than you'd expect for any sort of dentist office. And if you'll excuse me, I'm going to light this acetylene torch and throw it in your direction.
No! When you just see the first gnome, just flame engulfs him, and his face disintegrates, and all the other gnomes just light up. The whole place lights up, and
you see all these tanks exploding, and the building. And this dentist office isn't the only thing in the building. The building, this foundation is blowing across.
There's a flower shop that just
there's a flower shop that just blows up. There's a deli where you just have the giant racks of meat in the case just exploding and
below them is a marble store, and the marble store just the butane tanks go through the floor and just marbles just flying everywhere.
And by marbles you mean the marbles that you shoot. So the marbles that are rolling, some of the gnomes are trying to get away and they're stepping on the marbles and slipping on their backs. And we see Leroy and Dr. Simpson running away in slow motion. And then leaping.
They land. They're next to each other. And it's like that scene from Bad Boys, where they roll over on the pavement, looking all badass.
And then the doctor pulls out a cigar and passes it over.
We did this so quickly. I did not have time to take out the fire insurance policy.